Listen very carefully and follow my instructions. Prepare your brain for the Cortex Labs Nootropics podcast.
I gotta tell you, being an entrepreneur, I will not go through the rest of my career without taking nootropics. Aniracetam, paracetam, modafinil, Nupep, uridine monophosphate. I mean, phenylparacetam, forget it. You can always have a better brain.
The Cortex Labs Nootropics podcast is about to begin.
Episode number 85 of the Cortex Labs Nootropics podcast. This is going to be a quick one based on a question that users have sent in on, does the 1% take nootropics? Or did I say that wrong? Do the 1% take nootropics? Like, it's sort of conspiratorially slanted question. Does the secretive 1% take nootropics? And we'll get to kind of my experience with that, because there is a little, I mean, there's certainly merit to the idea that happens. I've seen it like up close and personal in my life, just dealing with people in the professional sector, and then also consulting people on nootropics that a lot of whom end up, like just are in the professional sector, kind of just business people, high level CEOs, CFOs, executives to big companies, things of this nature. So I think what I'm about to say about it is going to be interesting to folks. First, let's run through some product pro. The specials we have, pretty simple. Three major products we've got that support this broadcast. We've got other stuff. You can get all that stuff at livecortex.com. We have nootropics books that give you many stacks, nootropic stack lists, basically. But we've got a pre-made stack. We've got a nootropic stack. Right now, the Cortex nootropic stack, which is a significantly strong stack that we made for focus, motivation, mental energy, verbal fluency, productive drive, working memory. That stack, the Cortex stack, is on sale for $28. That's pretty cheap. I mean, think about it. It's like a cheap meal at a BYOB restaurant or less. Like, I mean, it's a significantly awesome stack and a great price. So if you just use the coupon code 5, F-I-V-E, at livecortex.com, you can get a bottle of the Cortex nootropic stack. You got to try it if you haven't. And if you're one of our awesome users who constantly buys Cortex, thank you. You're awesome. Buy some more. Buy a couple bottles because it's cheap right now. We have a consulting service on nootropics. Get that at livecortex.com. It's a 40-minute call with me. Most of the people drill us with questions and or have me help them figure out stacks that work the best for their brain. And if you're new to nootropics, we wrote a book for you. It's called Smarter, Better, Faster. It teaches you everything about nootropics and gives you many strong stacks. It's digital. You got to buy it. Buy all that stuff at livecortex.com. All right, so first I'll say this. In my life, just sort of separate from consulting people on nootropics that happen to be business people, some of the people that I've run into that are like doing things at the highest level in business. So, there's this one guy that I know who is a multimillionaire. He basically makes products for people. So if you have a product idea, you're like, I want to build this new iPhone charger that attaches to the back of it that's better than the Mophie, which is an iPhone. It's like a portable external iPhone charger. And you went with that idea to this guy. He would actually physically build the product for you. You'd have to pay him, $100,000 or whatever for him to build it and manufacture a bunch of the things. But he's got this lab where he has all this machinery and tools, and he just makes stuff. Anyway, the dude's business is a multi-million-dollar business. And, I talked to him about specifics, and he nets, I mean, this is after taxes, several $1 million a year. He's a millionaire, right? Okay, so this guy is an effective millionaire. I met him, I don't know, it was probably 3 years ago, and I was discussing with him, we kind of discussing our businesses, and I was discussing with him how we were launching the Cortex stack. I think we launched a Cortex stack somewhere around 3 years ago. And he goes, wait a minute. He's like, isn't that because I told him brain performance enhancement, compound, improves neurotransmitter profile, does a bunch of other things. He goes, is it similar to nootropics? Like, isn't that a nootropic? And I was like, well, yeah, that's the class of supplements that, that Cortex is. It's a nootropic. And he goes, man, no crap. I take modafinil every day. I've taken it for 8 years. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I never thought I'd run into a situation where, like, I was talking to somebody in the professional sector, and they knew what nootropics were, and you created one. I was like, yeah, totally. And it was cool to me to see someone outside of the people we consult with or email with or just discuss nootropics with primarily on the web, and have someone in real life be like, yeah, I take nootropics too, and I know about them. It's really cool because it's becoming less of like this underground fringe thing where folks are like, what, nootropics? Like, what's that? It's snake oil. It must be snake oil. And more of a thing where like folks just, I don't want to dare use the word mainstream, but I mean, they're becoming popular enough where folks know about them. More folks know about them. So there's an example of like, was this guy in the 1%? Maybe 10%, maybe 3%, who knows? Like multi-millionaire for sure, millionaire, takes modafinil, right? Has been taking nootropics for quite some time, many years. He experimented with a bunch of other stuff before he started taking modafinil. So I mean, the guy's like 10, 11 years taking nootropics. Perfect example. Then though, like what we have done over the years is started a consulting service on nootropics, and we consult everybody from regular business folks, corporate folks, to high-level executives. I mean, the type of folks that are, they work in some of the biggest companies in the world at the highest levels. They get $1 million bonuses and crap like that. And yeah, well, look, these guys are always looking for the performance edge. They got to work 17, 18 hours a day. They're managing a company of 70,000 people or 7,000 people or 20,000 people, and their to-do lists are huge, and the scope of work that they have to have their hands in to kind of manage the company, make it run well, is significant. And so therefore, these guys really need good brain performance. And no question, they're hitting us up for consulting and asking us about nootropics. Some of them have already stumbled upon racetams and various nootropic compounds that are out there, choline sources, and they're already taking them. Then they come to us and say, like, can you help me optimize my stack and all this other stuff? But there's the pattern that I've seen is that the people that already know about it that hit us up, that already know about nootropics, are like, yeah, like, I want you to help me optimize my stack and make my stack better, and have all these questions and have been into it for quite some time. Those are, in fact, they're literal millionaires. So these are up there in the, hard to say, like 1% or something. I'm not even sure like how that's classified financially, like in terms of specific numbers. So what you got to gross 10 million a year, you net 10 million a year, you gross 100, net 40. What is it, right? But these folks make a lot of money. Mostly they're all millionaires because they either get big bonuses or they've saved a lot of money. Maybe they get paid $600,000-$700,000 a year or something, and they've just invested it. Now they're millionaires. These folks are certainly in the top tier when it comes to financial status. And yes, they are taking nootropics. Now, does that mean that in order to become that type of person with that caliber in that financial class, you have to take nootropics? No, it just means you have to have a lot of energy. You got to have significant brain performance, and you have to have drive. You got to focus. You have to have motivation. You have to have information processing speed. Like, that's got to be on par. Like, it's got to be pretty good. And you've overall got to function well. But as we know, one of the best ways to do that, besides like making sure you have a great diet and you sleep well and exercise, is nootropics. That's basically the bottom line. So it's not a definitive sort of conspiratorially slanted thing where like it's a group of people in a club that are like in the millionaire club that talk to each other like, yeah, you got to take this stuff called modafinil. I found it recently. You can get it at this place, like an Indian pharmaceutical company, and it ships from overseas, and it's like totally legit and turns my brain on. It's not like that's happening. It's more like people that are performance driven and realize the necessity for powerful performance in their workplace are discovering nootropics, and it's become mainstay within that community. And maybe folks talk about it, maybe they don't. Seems more of an individual thing. Like a CEO at the top of some company, like who's he going to talk to about his wife or whoever? Maybe other people. But really, it's like people learn about it. That's the normal route with nootropics. They learn about it, they start taking them, they get some type of performance benefit from them, and then it becomes a part of their life for as long as they take nootropics, whether it's 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, the rest of their lives. And it's a pretty interesting dynamic. I would also say this, that when we discuss, this is kind of, related but unrelated. When we discuss nootropics with people that are brand new to it, but they're in positions of financial power, and they've just done well for themselves financially, and they continue to do well for themselves financially, almost invariably when they begin to take nootropics, they report back performance enhancements, which almost invariably correlate with financial condition improvements. So they end up making more money basically because they started taking nootropics and their brains work better. They've got better memory. They're more motivated. They kind of just like, that means, literally it's quantifiable. And pretty obvious if you look at it. Better brain performance equals more productivity, right? Equals you doing more stuff that can make you more money. And that's kind of one of the real attractive things for business people about nootropics, is that it can actually help them to perform better and to reach their outcomes faster, or more robustly, especially in the realm of being in a top-tier financial class. Okay, so thanks so much for listening. That's my take on it. Product Pro, check us out on the web at livecortex.com, livecortex.com/blog. The Cortex stack right now, our powerful pre-made nootropic stack, which, by the way, we built for business people. We actually built it for folks that want to get stuff done. We didn't build it for folks that just like want to kind of take something and feel energized or something. I mean, we built it specifically for hard charging, productive people. The Cortex stack is on sale right now. Coupon code 5 FIVE gets you a bottle of Cortex for $28. Pretty cheap considering Cortex is normally $33. In the past, it's been $38.99. Right now, it's $33, but if you use the coupon code 5, it takes it down to $28. Get that at livecortex.com. Our consulting service, it's awesome. It's a 40-minute call with me on nootropics. It's pretty cheap, $79. Use the coupon code 5, takes it down to $74. Get that at livecortex.com. And if you want a book that teaches everything about nootropics that you can read, it's digital. You can read it on your iPhone or iPad or whatever, even a MacBook, PC. Download Smarter, Better, Faster. You can get that at livecortex.com. Coupon code 5 takes that thing to like $19. It's like a steal. It's a total no-brainer for the best book on nootropics. Smarter, Better, Faster. Get that at livecortex.com. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Rock on. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Cortex Stacks. Talk to you next time.